Good evening and welcome to the final of the 2025 CAF Women's Champions League. Just 13 days ago, 8 of Africa's best teams arrived in Egypt with hopes and dreams of reaching this very stage, yet only 2 sides remain. And by unanimous accounts, it's 2 sides that have been the most consistent, dominant, and composed. It's the highly decorated club AS FAR of Rabat, Morocco, looking to get their hands on their 2nd ever Champions League trophy. Yet they face a tremendous opponent in a tournament debutante, the odds-defying ASEC Mimosas of Côte d'Ivoire. Tonight's match in Ismaïla at the Suez Canal Authority Stadium marks the first ever encounter between these 2 clubs. We're looking to see an instant classic, surely, as we'll see the best defense of the tournament in AS FAR, who've yet to concede a single goal in 4 matches, face the test of the best offense in ASEC Mimosas, who have scored 7 in their last 4. ASEC's defensive discipline will also be challenged. AS FAR have proven to be a lethal threat on set pieces, having scored 3 of their 4 from dead ball situations, and have benefited greatly from the emergence of Safa Banouk. Doha El Madani also should be feeling bright, receiving her 2nd Young Player of the Year trophy at the 2025 CAF Awards ceremony this week, as the trophy made its appearance after 90 minutes or even 120. One of these 2 sides who are undefeated in this year's finals will lift this glorious title. Will it be ASEC Mimosas to make history for their club and draw level with the men's side who won the CAF Men's Champions League in 1995? Or will it be AS FAR who will make amends for their defeat in last year's final, a cruel loss to TP Mazembe at home under Mohamed Amin Alioua? This is their 3rd final. They won the tournament previously, defeating Mamelodi Sundowns, a scoreline of 4-0. And now they find themselves in the final against ASEC Mimosas, who for their 1st ever participation have been brilliant. Spearheaded by the attack of Abibou Ouedraogo and Ami Presque Diallo, the 2 forwards have combined for 5 goals, contributing to 5 of the 7. But they've also been solid defensively, physically imposing, and tactically unflappable. Nina Yadidabilgou, the goalkeeper, as well. That'll be a battle to look into in this match. Both Khadija Eremici, the goalkeeper of AS FAR, and Nina Yadidabilgou battle out to see which goalkeeper reigns supreme. A huge story for this final, however, is Sanam Soudi, who was unlucky not to find the back of the net. She was nearly impossible to contain all tournament long, but at the 121st minute against TP Mazembe in the semi-final, she injured herself on a defensive sequence of play and will not be able to be participating in the final. A huge blow for Mohamed Amin Alioua as his side arrived at the stadium earlier this evening. These are shots taken earlier before, and you would have seen Sanam Soudi arriving to support her team, but with the help of a crutch. So her injury putting her out. Also, AS FAR had to deal with the absence of, as well as Fatima Tagnaout, the former CAF Interclub Player of the Year, who was so stirring in their 1st ever Champions League victory. But they'll have to do with the offensive firepower of Safa Banouk, Anissa Lamari, and Doha El Madani to get the job done. As the players walk out to the music of the CAF, it's ASEC Mimosas on the left, AS FAR on the right. One last time, the 15th match of this 2025 Women's Champions League, or the 16th match of the Women's Champions League. And whether after 90 minutes, 120 minutes with extra time, or penalties, there will only be one to reign supreme, lift the trophy, receive the the prize money and also book their ticket to play against Wuhan Chengdu in the qualification match for the first ever FIFA Club Women's World Cup, which will be taking place in London early 2026. Formalities of shaking of the hands between the two sides before the captains participate in the coin tosses. Asfar, that will be attacking from left to right in the opening half. The Suez Canal Stadium is going to be treated to a true spectacle. Two sides that are undefeated have showcased so much quality to reach this stage, both topping their groups respectively. Asfar starting 11. Set up by Mohamed Amin Alioua. Kaja Erermichi, decisive in the semi-final, saving penalties. Saïd Hajar, Zineb Redouani, and Hanan Ait Elhaj, the back three. A midfield five composed of Doal Madani, Najat Badri, the captain, Nouaila Benzina, Polmish Maouna, and Zineb Eroudani. And up front, Safa Banouk and Anissa Lamari. Playing her first stint at a club outside of Europe, Anissa Lamari. All eyes will also be Najat Badri, the captain, who scored 1 goal this season from the penalty spot, but also takes the free kicks, which is where Asfar seem to be dangerous, as well as Zineb Eroudani. She too can be lethal force from the set pieces. See both goalkeepers receiving instruction from the Cameroonian head referee of this match, Aline Marie Noël Gimbang Gaetong. Very well-reputed referee, bringing honor to Cameroon, the quality of their officials. So Asfar were led by their trusted manager, Mohamed Amin Alioua. As you see in the VAR room, Salima Mukansanga and Maria Rivette will be reviewing each contested play. ASEC Mimosas manager Siaka Gigi Traoré started Dabilgou in goal. Aboua Yapo, Noura Diarra, and Anastasia Bey, the back three. On the wings, Aïcha Fofana and Mariam Diawara, and in the center, Yeti Doudou Touré, Erika Rosalie Nunoué, and Essie Matilda Dagba, the goal scorer of the second half of the semi-final. And then up front, the forward two, the relentless forward two of Ami Preska Diallo and Abibou Ouedraogo. It's a 3-5-2, a very structured formation. Surely we'll see Essie Matilda Dagba pulling forward, while Erika Rosalie Nunoué, the captain, will be compensating with her defensive duties. What a moment this would be. Siaka Gigi Traoré, the manager of ASEC Mimosa, did say that in the pre-match interview that a final, you play it to win it. And they would like to etch their names in history as the only debutantes in Mamelodi Sundowns to win the Women's Champions League. However, as I was mentioning earlier, Asfar, led by their trusted manager, Mohamed Amin Alioua, are no strangers to the pressures of a Champions League final. In 2022, they unleashed a free fall of goals, but they have a very different customer in Siaka Traoré's troops. The Ivorian champions, who qualified in the WAFU B group, the commanding 4-1 win over the Police Ladies of Ghana, played a very contested final against Bayelsa Queens, and since introducing themselves to the continental stage of the Women's Champions League, they've been nothing short of impressive. They made a splash, defeating Tepe Mazembe, previous winners. And now Asfar are the second champions they face. ASEC Mimosa get us kicked off for the final. And the final is the 16th match of this tournament. Started with 8, down to just 2. ASEC Mimosas in the yellow and black kits, attacking from right to left. Asfar in their black, green, and red stripes attacking from left to right. It's a bit cagey after just 30 seconds, and the ball is returned to Asfar, who recovered possession. Throw in goes above Safa Banouk, who can't deflect, and the first blow of the whistle is in favor of the Ivorian side. Sami Preska Diallo got ahead of Zineb Eroudouani, who committed herself by going to ground. It's an interesting area for ASEC Mimosa. For those who watched the semi-final, free kick came from a similar spot for the goal, with Raogo just catches too much of Zineb Redouani, who returned just in the nick of time. Abibou Raogo, really one to watch all tournament long. Whether she plays as a forward pair or even drops deeper like she did against JKT Queens to help her side when they were being led 1-0. There's some important storylines in this match. Asfar have conceded 0 goals, the best defense of the tournament. They're coming against ASEC Mimosa, who have the best offense, 7 goals scored. They also are proven to be dangerous in different phases of play, whether it's free kicks or open play. Certainly Abibou Raogo can shoot from distance, but also within the box is lethal. Ami Preska Diallo is always lying on the back shoulder of the last defender, at times called offsides. They struggled to get their first goal against FC Massar, ASEC Mimosa in the semi-final. Came in the second half. 6 of 7 goals scored for ASEC Mimosa in this tournament came in the second half, so wouldn't be too surprising if ASEC Mimosa continue on that trend, but of course this is the final. Siaka Gigi Traoré did make a big decision, starting Yeti Doudou Touré, the number 8 midfielder, instead of number 19 Nadège Nguesson. It's a foul by AC Matilda Dagba, the goal scorer of the semi-final. So far in the opening 3.5 minutes, it's been a very contested and physical duel. Teams searching, not willing to expose themselves overly. But now, Doual Madani has won a free kick much closer to goal. Quite a good week for Doual Madani. She picked up her second consecutive Young Player of the Year award at the CAF award ceremony, which took place earlier this week. On Wednesday. Here's Hanan Aidelaj. Started the tournament by missing a penalty against FC Massar, the host nation side, but she's bounced back very well. It's her 3rd spell at the club, and we know how good Asfar are from the free kicks. It's almost as if she shot into the mix, but the herd came late. Benzina, always eager to get her head onto the ball. Noela Benzina, but ASEC Mimosa recuperate, and very mature play by Abibou Raogo, perhaps slowing down the pace of the game, but allowing for a team to shift from right to left. If you want to participate in the conversation, it's with hashtag CAF WCL 2025. This is our last match of what's been a fantastic tournament hosted by Egypt. 2 venues, the Right to Dream Stadium and October Gardens, as well as this very one in Ismaila, the Suez Canal Authority. It's been fantastic playing conditions. And on this November evening, excellent weather, 24 degrees Celsius. As far as struggling to get their foot on the ball. Both sides not able to really fully exploit their potential. You can almost feel there's a little bit of nervousness amongst the two outfits, which is slightly surprising given that ASFAR have been in this position before. They're the more seasoned team. In 2022, they disposed and dismantled Mamelodi Sundowns, winning 4-0 in Rabat in the Champions League final. A hat-trick scored by Ibtissam Jaidi. And last year, they were unable to find the back of the net, losing 1-0. Disappointing result against Le Tout-Puissant Mazembe of the DRC. They have 8 players, however, that participated in that triumph in 2022, who are in this group. So there is that champion's pedigree. Oh, what a touch by Diallo. And then Badri forced into making the foul. Ami presque à Diallo before she could cut onto her left foot. It's brought down. Upon looking at the replay, it's more and more evident that Najat Badri stepped on the foot of Ami presque à Diallo. It's indeed very painful, but she's back up to her feet, and her team will need her. ASEC Mimosas, who are supported by their fans in Côte d'Ivoire, as well as around the world. Large diaspora of Ivorian supporters that have been backing this side, this outfit. It's a free kick now taken by BI. Aisha Fofana. Crossing has not been her strong suit in this tournament. For all she attempts, she really is a hard-working wing player, Aisha Fofana, but her deliveries have not been able to find her teammates in interesting positions throughout the last 4 matches. ASEC Mimosas are the first club from Côte d'Ivoire to reach the final. Their path to getting here started by beating the Tout-Puissant Mazembe on match day 1. They drew against JKT Queens on match day 2, coming from behind. Penalty scored by Erika Rosalie Nunoué. On match day 3, they pulled out and released the Kraken, scoring 4 against Gaborone United Botswana. In the semi-final, they had the tough task of getting past a very young and hungry side in FC Massar. Now they find themselves against probably one of the favorites to win the tournament before it started in ASFAR. Such a complete squad led by the experienced Mohamed Amin Alioua, with veteran players on the pitch like Erer Michi, Najat Badri, players who have won everything there is to win. Oh, excellent bit of dribbling, but unable to take too many touches as Mariam Diawara was coming in to scuff the efforts, and she's won a throw-in for all her efforts. Abou Ayapo on that left side. The summer signing for ASEC Mimosas, wearing the number 3. Took a steps too far forward. Mariam Diawara called back to the initial position. Here's Diallo again. Good hold-up play from both forwards, and with Raogo, dispatches Aisha Fofana. Has to concentrate on delivering a good cross. This is a little bit better, but Eremici, like an eagle on its prey. Perhaps clattered into Ami Prescadialo with her shoulder there a little bit. Some gamesmanship from one of the most decorated and successful football players in African football, Eremici. She can only add to the lore. Oh, that's a great pass for Douane Madani. No offside flag raised. And Madani never took the ball in her stride. One-touch pass from Banouk. It's going to go all the way to Lamari. Banouk. She's brought down right in front of the referee, and it's a penalty for Asfar. What a turning point. The first real offensive incursion from the Moroccans, and they are rewarded with a penalty. You could see how much it means to Safa Banouk, the forward who didn't start this tournament as a starting player in the absence of Fatima Tainouten and Msoudi. She's taken her responsibilities, and it's poor defending from Aboua Yapo, the new signing for ASEC Mimosas. Clever one-touch pass from Zineb Redouani, finding herself in the offensive. That's the thing about this side and Asfar. So many permutations in the starting 11. It's one of the defensive players, Zineb Redouani, in such a forward role. Decisive, and the touch from Banouk, incredible. So who's to take the penalty? Will it be Najat Badri? Will it be Zineb Eroudani? Will it be Zineb Redouani? So many capable penalty takers. It's Anan Ait El-Hajj, pardon me. Anan Ait El-Hajj for redemption against Nina Yadida Bilgou to score the opening goal of the 2025 CAF Women's Champions League final. A momentous turning point. A little bit of a delay between the moment the penalty was called and the shot being taken. Can Anan Ait El-Hajj keep her cool this time? She does! Anan Ait El-Hajj bursts the back of the net. And it's 1-0 for Asfar of Morocco. L'Association Sportive des Forces des Armées Royales are in the lead. And much to the delight of the supporters in the stadium here in Ismaïla. Nina Yadida Bilgou. Her net is pierced. And although she dove the right way, there was way too much behind the shot of Ait El-Hajj. Let's look at the replay again. Clear contact on Safa Banouk. Maybe she goes down a little bit easily, but... And then comes to the finish. Redemption for Ait El-Hajj. Missing against FC Massar on match day 1 of the group stages. And now converts what could be the goal to lift the trophy. Of course, there's oceans of time left for ASEC Mimosas to recover. They've done so in the past in this tournament. But they'd have to do something that no other team has done, which is score against Asfar in this tournament. This impregnable defense set up by Mohamed Amin Alioua. This is exactly surely what they searched for. And continues on the trend of their offensive style. Of their 5 goals scored, 4 from dead ball situations. Oh, Banouk. The pass came a little bit late, and the recovery from Beyi. Redouani pressing very high up. Ball's out of bounds. Perhaps feeling the nerves of playing at a stage so grand as ASEC Mimosas. But careful, Asfar must be aware that ASEC Mimosas, the club from Côte d'Ivoire, are mostly dangerous in the second half from a scoring point of view. In the first half, they usually tend to tire their opponents out through their physicality and their running. But Asfar seem to have understood their assignment quite well Here's El Madani. The attempted give and go. Great use of the body to shield El Madani off the ball. Mish Mauna, the number 19 for ASFAR, clears as she can. Oh, it's a midfield battle for supremacy. In the end, it seems as if ASEC Mimosas are going to turn it over again. Finally, Mauna concedes a throw in. Mauna, clever bit of skill to hoist the ball up and away. Challenge there, and ASEC Mimosas defender Yapo goes to ground. See, with the lower portion of her body, made contact with Banouk. These two have been dueling these opening 16 minutes. For now, it seems as if Banouk has gotten the best of her marker, winning a penalty at a decisive moment. Aline Marie-Noël Gimbang-Gaetong, the referee from Cameroon, has had to already make a crucial decision in giving the penalty. She blows her whistle. They're on the second. Oh, El Madani. Oh, it's an awkward bounce, and Dabilgou didn't make it look easy at all. El Madani yet to score a goal in this tournament so far. She missed a penalty in the semi-final, but she's been stirring, played a key role in the creation of that first goal. There she was, again, hanging on the back shoulder of the last defender, lurking and believing until the very end. Doha El Madani. She was the top goal scorer in last year's edition of the Women's Champions League with 6, but yet to get off the mark. She's looking determined to change that this evening. Mipresca Diallo brought down for the 3rd time in this match, expressing frustration towards the referee, believing that ASFAR should enter the booking, but instructed to get back up to her feet and carry on playing. Teroudani there has committed the infringement. Saïd Hajar coming to mark the imposing Mipresca Diallo. It's going to be spread out to Aisha Fofana. Not a lot of certainty, the passing from ASEC Mimosas, perhaps a symptom of the events. They seem to be a little bit still under the shock of conceding that early penalty. Not looking settled into this final as much as their opponents. And here's El Madani dashing forward, the number 7. A clear push right in front of the assistant referee. A very easy decision. The whistle's blown. But quick transition from defense to offense from the Moroccan champions. Just to give you an idea of how experienced the side is, they've already won 12 titles of the championship in Morocco, 13 Coupe du Trône. They were also first place in the qualifiers of the UNAF tournament. They are a decorated club by all means and all decisions, perhaps one of the most prestigious in the African continent. And if they are to head to a 2nd Women's Champions League title, they tie with Mamelodi Sundowns, who are absent from this tournament. They were knocked out by Zesco and Dola girls in the COSAFA qualification tournament. But ASEC Mimosas have time to react, of course, We know that they are a side that wake up later on in the match, especially after the restart. Perhaps it's the magical words of Siaka Gigi Traoré, or the tactical adjustments, or even the physical preparation that makes it for them to be such a dangerous side in the second half, but it is the case. Long throw in from Fofana. It's met by Redouani, and the ball never went into play, so poor throw in taken by Aisha Fofana. So it'll be retaken. She has to really focus, Aisha Fofana, in her distribution play for all her work rate. The ball slides under the foot of Ouedraogo. Oh, but a little bit of a scuffed control too, and Dagba touches it too far. Ami Presque Diallo seems as if she could have, for a half second, may have thought about taking the volley. Wins the ball back impressively. Diawara, Dagba, looking for Ouedraogo. It's Hajar. Lunged to get a touch and cut out the attack. Say as well, Nouaila Benzina, number 5, on the ball now. He's played such an impressive tournament. Pinpoint pass, but it wasn't perfectly controlled. Benzina. Dagba. It's a little bit uncontrolled play from ASEC Mimosas. They're playing against an opponent of the caliber they haven't met yet in this tournament. Sure, they did defeat Le Tout-Puissant Mazembe on match day 1, but ASFAR really do bring something different to the table. This very flexible formation where players are able to be deployed in different positions and switch up their responsibilities, participate on both the offensive and the defensive. Madani, what a pass that is from Eroudani on a silver plate. And she goes down. She worked her defender brilliantly there, Doual Madani. The step over with the left foot, and then the touch with the right. Mariam Diawara, beaten, had to use her arms to contain Doual Madani, who's been uncontainable on that wing. It's really a 4-3-3 formation that's extremely flexible, which allows for, and this is exactly what they wanted ASFAR. Everyone knows how good Zineb Eroudani is from these free kick situations. She knows how to pick her target. So it's time for ASEC Mimosas to roll up the sleeves and be disciplined defensively. They wouldn't want to concede another penalty or another goal, even worse. Here comes the delivery. It's an in-swinger. Oh, it meets perfectly. And the whistle is in favor of ASEC Mimosas. For a second, it seemed as if ASEC Mimosas' world stopped. ASFAR, look at the precision of Eroudani's cross. She's so good with those balls. Safa Banouk, unable to convert, even though it wouldn't have counted, of course, but Eroudani, such quality from the free kick. Yet again. And it's a weapon that ASFAR will be eager to utilize more than once this match, that is for sure. A team that, thanks to their tricky and creative offensive players, oftentimes win fouls and free kicks in dangerous situations, and they don't put them to waste. ASEC Mimosas need to muster up an attack now, or else this final is going to be carried away from them. They have to showcase what functioned for them coming into this tournament, to this final. The pace of their forwards. Ami Presque Diallo brought down again. She's won several fouls, but much further from the goal. This time it's the goal scorer, Anan Aitelaj, who is the culprit. Ami Prescadiado, who scored her 2 goals of this tournament against Gaborone United on match day 3. Came very close to scoring against FC Massa on the semi-final, but VAR denied her a couple of times. Sent into a dangerous area. Ermici collides with her own defender, who stays on the ground. Gimbong Aitong, the referee of this encounter, stopping play. Of course, there is a protocol. Whenever it's a head injury, play has to be stopped, and the medical teams do have to check on the players. Let's see this again. Ermici coming outside of her 6-yard box and reading the trajectory brilliantly, but clattering into Safa Banouk, the number 9 for ASFAR. Oh, didn't see her coming at all. Took an elbow to the face. She took a real rocking. She's attempting to get back up to her feet quite quickly, which is not surprising, knowing Safa Banouk and how she's conducted herself this tournament. A real warrior. As we look at the goal again, Anan Aitelaj grabbing the lead at the 12th minute or 13th. Picking her spot perfectly, although Dabilgou dove the right way. Power and precision aligned by Aitelaj. The 31-year-old is on the brink of collecting her first Women's Champions League trophy if her side are able to hold ASEC Mimosas to 0 goals. Which wouldn't be incredibly surprising. ASFAR are yet to concede in this tournament. Of course, there's a lot at stake for the winners. They will receive 600,000 United States dollars, while the runners-up will take 400,000. So 2 sizable prize sums, but of course, the winners receive a greater amount. They'll be able to also book their ticket to play against the winner of the AFC Women's Champions League, which was Wuhan Jiangda, in a showdown to play in the first ever FIFA Women's Champions Cup. ASEC Mimosas looking to respond with Raugo. He's been very discreet in these opening 28 minutes. We haven't seen the Ivorian international really express her offensive qualities. That's a little bit of technique that we'd love to see. I believe it was Yeti Doudou Touré on the ball there. Aboyapo finding Noura Diarra. Noura Diarra, who is part of the starting 11 of the group stages. ASEC Mimosas circulating the ball. They're doing so well. Balmish Mauna, the Congolese midfielder, who arrived recently at this club as well. Big step up. Played every minute of this tournament until she was substituted off in the semifinals for Niamey. 2 players on the ground for ASEC Mimosas. Claims for a penalty. It was both forwards. Referee, Ms. Gimbong Aitong of Cameroon, didn't spot an infringement this time. Of course, as a reminder, there is video assistant referee, so if there was a foul, it will be looked over and reviewed. And Gimbong Aitong will be called to reverse her decision. Seems as if play is stopped to perhaps look at the free kick situation again. She's receiving information in the earpiece, and play will be carried on. No penalty for ASEC Mimosas. That's a shot from distance. It's let flying. Goes very much wide. Almost a snatched effort from Essie Mathilda Dagba, who we know is capable of doing so much better from distance. She scored a sensational goal in the semi-final against FC Massar at this very stadium on Tuesday. As for ASFAR, they qualified against Le Tout-Puissant Mazembe, facing the side that caused so much pain to Mohamed Amin Alioua. He was interviewed before this very tournament and said that the memories that he has of losing that final to the Le Tout-Puissant Mazembe is one of the worst of his career. He said we were so close, we had injuries that hurt us. They lost key players. And Tout-Puissant Mazembe, who won the tournament. Oh, look, it's Banouk, and if she raises her up on the corner of her eye, she tries to find El Madani. And miscommunication between Beyi and Delbilgou, who have now offered an extra dead ball situation to ASFAR. You could hear the frustration of Delbilgou, but that initial pass to Safa Banouk, perfectly timed. Makes a mess of the cross, but in the end, it's a gifted corner kick. As we look at the situation again, would have been very harsh to call penalty for those challenges. Strong defending from ASFAR. And Adja's cross. Eroudani, first time attempt with her left foot. Diawara tasked with clearing, but harassing all the way through is Anissa Lamari, the French-born Moroccan international who formerly played at Paris Saint-Germain in Europe, as well as a slew of other teams. Good turn from Ami Priska Diallo, and it's a bit of a desperate attempt for Ouedraogo, who's going to chase all the way, accompanied by Priska Diallo, but they do well to play off into the space. ASFAR, when they combine in their own half, are so smooth with the movement. You can tell it's a team that are very well drilled and understand the system put in play by Mohamed Amin Alioua, who's been in charge of this club for 5 years now. Distinguished manager. It's risky play from Beyi, and Bolmish Maouma, unlucky to not get on the end of it. That could have been a counter-attacking goal situation. 50-50 challenge, leaving both players on the ground, and it's Zineb Redouani. Seems worse for wear. Going to battle with Dagba. It's a challenge you'd expect to see in a final. On the occasions when players are a little bit late, when challenges are a little bit uncontrolled, you have to remember that this tournament started on November the 8th. They played in 3 group stage matches as well as a semi-final before arriving here, all against the cream of the crop of the African continent. So fatigue is a real factor. It's the sides that are able to manage their physical fitness, their mental composure, their technique, and their tactical that will emerge as victorious. Houdani touched the ball a little bit too far. Her technique got the best of her. What an interception from Mauna, who, as I mentioned, the uncontrolled factor, seems as if she lost a little bit of control, but in the end got into a precarious situation. Erika Rosalie Nounoué reminding her that in the center of the pitch, she can't just stroll in. It's a tough challenge. Shoulder to shoulder, but high velocity. And that'll call for a medical stoppage and allow for both teams to hydrate, as well as let the tension dissipate just a little bit. We saw back-to-back strong challenges between both sides. Paul Mishmaouna, who's like a magnet to the ball, seems to be eager to intercept and well positioned to do so. As you notice, Noëlla Benzina, the bandage over her eye. She picked up 2 head injuries against le Tout-Puissant Mazembe in the semi-final, but finished the match aiding her side and holding le Tout-Puissant Mazembe to 0 goals. ASFAR have done a very good job in shielding Hadija Renmichi, their goalkeeper, who hasn't had to do too much this evening in the final. The goalkeeper has made 100% of her saves so far. She has excellent coverage, as well as ASEC Mimosas failing to deliver on what they're known to do. Yet we've not reached the second half, which has proven to be their favored half. It's where they get the lion's share of their goals. Undoubtedly, it's when they wake up and cause real problems for their opponents, but none of their matches have resembled this one. It seems as if the technical as well as tactical know-how and quality of ASFAR are really upsetting them. What link-up play. And Noura Diarra forced to commit a foul. But again, it's an offering to Zineb Beroudani to pick her spot and find one of her teammates, whether it's Benzina or Banouk. You wouldn't be foolish to imagine Beroudani connecting with one of her teammates from across, so you have to be careful. ASEC Mimosas under the watchful eyes of the officials. Kieran Ismaila. Oh, it's a switch up. It's Anan Aitalaj, the penalty taker, who has presented herself for this cross. And that's the real danger of ASFAR. The permutations. Oh, it's played short, but they've not executed well at all. Dagba. Touré. ASEC Mimosas, can they break out in pace? Dagba has to find a good ball to Ouedraogo, but who other than Noëlla Benzina with her head to break the attack and shatter the hopes of a quick counter-attack. ASEC Mimosas struggling to look like themselves. But a lot of credit has to be given to Mohamed Amin Aloua and his defensive setup, whether it's Paul Mishmaouna, who's intercepting plays before they can develop, or Noëlla Benzina and Saïd Hadjar, who are locking up the center. What a pass from El Madani, Tanissa Lamari into the open space. Lamari, a few step overs, waiting for support. Redouani. Lamari, it's a one-touch left-footed cross. Flies above everyone. It's squandered in the end. But for a little bit, you could see the technical ascendancy of ASFAR over ASEC Mimosas. There truly is a bit of a gap, and perhaps it's also that championship pedigree that they bring to the table. ASFAR, having won the tournament previously in 2022, and a player is on the ground. It's the goal scorer Anan Aitalaj, who is requesting medical assistance. All the more impressive, this performance by AS FAR is that it's without their key forward, Sana Msoudi. The goal scorer in the final of the Women's Africa Cup of Nations against Nigeria, which Morocco eventually did lose 3-2. Fatima Tagnaout as well, also missing from the squad. Didn't play a single minute, but present with her teammates. If AS FAR are to hold on to the win, she will be very much part of the celebrations. It was on her clearance. And then came the stoppage. So Anan Aitelaj is back up to her feet, and well controlled by AS FAR. It's been an impressive performance from the Moroccan champions. Eren Michi, quick offer line, not wasting any time. Oh, it's ASEC Mimosa really have to be more focused in winning the ball back as well. They can't be offering too many of these situations to AS FAR, or else they're going to be punished. And they also have to make the most of when they have possession. Aisha Fofana finds Ouedraogo. It's laborious, but they've gained yards. Dagba, was there a handball there? Claims for it. Video assistant referee would check if ever. They've now switched up the play from right to left, but Eroudani, oh, she's so tricky to get away, to dispossess Eroudani. It's a risky pass, straight to Anissa Lamari. Banouk, who receives a layoff. Lamari again spins away from her defender, but didn't anticipate the extra support of Yapo. And ASEC Mimosa, it's too easily given away. See the frustration, the body language of Ami Preska Diallo. That forward trident that was devastating against FC Massar, unable to replicate their high voltage football. Yapo, too easily turned away. AS FAR don't make the most of it, but don't commit too many players forward. Trying to implement triangle passing, ASEC Mimosa, but all the plays on that in that area are followed like a shadow by Zineb Eroudani. Touched away from Zineb Redouani, who's so high on confidence. Going into this match, she was the player that created the most amount of chances in this tournament with 9. Benzina shifted to the left, but physical challenge in the midfield. Strong headers in the center circle for both sides, and finally Aline Marie-Noël Gimban-Gaetong intervenes. For one thing that was quite pleasant in this match, in this first half of the final, is that she didn't have to blow her whistle too many times. No excessive amount of malicious fouls or injury stoppages. It's been of course an engaged encounter, but by no means one that has been excessively choppy. That's perhaps the curse of the commentator struck there. Ami Preska Diallo using her full force to clash into Eroudani. Or if it wasn't her full force, enough to get her off her feet. And the fourth official designates 3 minutes of added time in this first half. As a reminder, AS FAR took the lead in the 13th minute, courtesy of a penalty goal, or penalty kick scored by Number 17, Anan Ait Elhaj. Badri, oh, the pass was lacking. Oh, now wait, a counter-attack opportunity. Ami Presque Diallo overran the ball. On a lifeline to ASFAR, who are almost punished for a small lapse in concentration by none other than their captain, Najat Badri. But that's also what ASEC Mimosas can provide. It's going from recovery to attack in a heartbeat. Almost grabbed a late first half equalizer. 1 minute of stoppage time passed. ASFAR pinned into their own area, but they do well to escape the press. To Zineb Redouani, so comfortable on the ball. Zineb Redouani for a defender. Has been part of the club through all their glorious years. Won the Women's Champions League alongside seven of her teammates tonight. Najat Badri, Hajar Michi. Just a few to name. Mena Benzina as well. Here she is on the ball. Very mature play from the Moroccan champions and last year's finalists. Not stressing, picking the right time, patient forward play. And they've now created a 3-on-3 situation. Banouk waiting for Redouani, who shifted all the way to the other half of the pitch. Or the other side of the pitch, excuse me. Zineb Redouani is so tireless. Can find her on the left, on the right, in attack and in defense. She covers so much ground. This time called in an offside position. And unless ASEC Mimosas are able to send the ball 80 meters towards the opposite end, they're going to go into this half being led by 1-0 against a very tough opponent. An explicit title contender going into this tournament. In ASFAR, that is the halftime. It is 1-0 for the Moroccan champions. Last year's finalists have already made amends for their performance in 2024 by opening the scoring through Anan Ait Elhaj, a penalty provoked by Safa Banouk, brought down in her area by the unfortunate Aboua Yapo. For the Abidjan-based club of ASEC Mimosas, they haven't been able to express themselves, but for the neutrals, perhaps it's not too much to worry for, or even supporters of les Actionnaires, because they scored 6 of their 7 goals in this tournament in the second half, and they have had the best attack of the tournament, but ASFAR's defense is impregnable. The system developed by Mohamed Aminou Alioua and perfected over the years has been excellent. And even without Sanam Soudi on the pitch, they have been the most threatening offensively, the most composed offensively, and are 45 minutes away from securing a win in the final, as well as the trophy and title of Champions of Africa. It's been a very tense encounter between two sides that come into this match undefeated. None have experienced losing yet. None really seemed as if they were opening themselves up to opportunities to concede a goal, but on the first real incursion by ASFAR, Aboua Yapo, with some naive late defending, made just enough contact on Safa Banouk's shin, which resulted in a penalty being called by the referee Gimbong Aetong. The Suez Canal Stadium in Ismaila would be the scene for the final of the 2025 CAF Women's Champions League between undefeated clubs AS FAR of Morocco and ASEC Mimosas of Côte d'Ivoire. From set pieces, it was well known going into this match that AS FAR were dangerous, and that's exactly what they were able to win. Safa Banouk outsmarting the defense of Abou Yapo, getting her foot to the ball before the incoming defender. And Anait Elhadj steps up to take the penalty and redeem her miss on match day 1. Does so with all the composure of the world, celebrations resonating in Ismaila at the Suez Canal Stadium. Closing her foot well, picking the left side of the goal. Nothing for Nina Yadi Dabigou to do, although she did dive the right way. ASEC Mimosas nervy in this match, struggled to really get their offense going as they would like. An instant reaction from Abibou Ouedraogo, but the top goal scorer of the tournament coming into this match was really muzzled by such a strong defense, and AS FAR would capitalize on free-flowing football, but they would squander half chances with perhaps a little bit of imprecision in the final balls. The Abidjan-based club wearing the yellow and black really struggling to get their offense going, but the best offense of the tournament scored the majority of their goals in the second half, so everything to play for. Really depends what Siaka Gigi Traoré can inject into his players. As for Mohamed Amin Alioua, the manager of AS FAR, it's been a near perfect performance for his team. as the 22 players emerge from the locker room. Only the next 45 minutes will tell if one coach's team talk was more efficient than the other. The camera focuses on ASEC Mimosas, who are currently being led 1-0 against ASFAR, thanks to a goal scored by none other than Anan Aidelaj in the 13th minute. ASFAR now making their way out of the locker room. Of course, they played the first half and executed, you'd imagine, their strategy to a perfect T. It almost felt at times that there were even more players of ASFAR on the pitch, just by the way they positioned themselves, by the way they moved the ball and circulated with possession, and then won fouls and free kicks, which they know how to execute. Perhaps could have even have created more from open play, thanks to Doal Madani. And then the back, Nouaila Benzina and Said Hajar, such solid defenders who have been performing to such a high level all tournament long. Nina Yadi Dabigou, the Burkinabé, goalkeeper of ASEC, didn't have much to do in the first half either in terms of saves. And we're back for the second half. Perhaps the final half, if there is a side that is winning. Of course, if the two teams are drawn at the end of the 90th minute, plus stoppage time, it will go to two 15-minute periods of extra time. If not, of course, it will be the end of the Women's Champions League, and the 16th and final match will be crowned by a celebration, by a trophy ceremony, as well as individual prizes designated not only to the best goalkeeper, the best scorer, or the top scorer, the best player of the tournament, as well as the Fair Play Award, and then finally the trophy handed to the winner and champion of the CAF Women's Champions League. It was Benzina. She goes straight for goal, it seems. Sails over the goal frame of Nina Yadi Dabigou. Ambitious effort from Nouaila Benzina. That would have been spectacular had she found the back of the net from that free kick, and a real knockout punch. It's already difficult to get one goal past ASFAR. No side has done that yet in this tournament, but two would seem a very tall order and mountain to climb. Late on the challenge was Diawara. ASFAR continuing. Redouani believing until the very end. Her touch a little heavy, but Redouani seems as if she's never tired. Full of energy and always bursting forward. Speaking of ambitious plays, that ball at her feet there from Touré, if she would have gone away from a few of those, that would have been comparable to the skills of Ronaldinho. She did well to get away from Eroudani, who's wearing a compressive around her thigh. ASEC Mimosas going forward with Raogo. Seems as if the touch got away, and decisive slide tackle from Said Hajar. The art of defending by Said Hajar, the former Girondin de Bordeaux player in France, who has returned to Africa for her club career. Is up to the level of this final. Such an impressive tournament by Said Hajar. Oh, it's a good cross in, and Madani's touch gets away from her though. And the second goal escapes the foot of Doal Madani. Should have done so much better there. She's still yet to score in this tournament, Doal Madani, the 20-year-old as well. She scored in the qualifiers against FC Massa on match day 1. She also won the Women's Africa Cup of Nations with Morocco and the futsal team. Here she is now, layoff pass for the incoming Anan Aitelaj. The goal scorer, Anan Aitelaj, waiting for some options. Got too comfortable, the ball at her feet and dispossessed. Seems as if she received a knock to her face. The referee will... That was the hand that was... Banouk's cross, which was to the right, dosing the right weight just above the defender, right into the foot of Hamadani. Disappointing from the number 7. Should have done better there. And ASEC Mimosa escape with just a warning. It's the second in short amount of time for ASEC Mimosa, who don't seem to have found their game just yet. But as I reminded several times during this broadcast, of the 7 goals scored by ASEC Mimosa, the best attack of the Women's Champions League, 6 of the goals came in the second 45 minutes of play. To participate in the conversation, use hashtag CAF WCL 2025. We'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions on this match and everything related to this fantastic tournament which has been taking place in Egypt over the last 2 weeks, coming to an end tonight. We've seen the best teams, the African continent, battle it out for supremacy. Noelia Benzina too comfortable there in her challenge, but we're seeing this very apparent championship mindset in ISFAR. They commit fouls in areas where ASEC Mimosa aren't their most dangerous, about 30-40 yards away from goal. It's lofted into the box. It's met by Diallo. Oh, it's spilled. Eremici, a rare mistake from Hadija Eremici. And she's bailed out by Safa Banouk. Alert in her defensive duties, the number 9. Decisive in winning the penalty, and now that's a defensive clearance as good as a goal, because incoming was Dagba. So the initial cross from Bei met by Priska Diallo. Perhaps it was an awkward bounce, but almost incomprehensible why Hadija Eremici didn't capture the ball there. Noelia Benzina down yet again. Ami Priska Diallo not back up on her feet yet. And we'll see the first substitution being made by Siaka Traoré, the manager of ASEC Mimosa. And it's the electrifying speedy midfielder winger Sophie Philomène Brou. And Aisha Fofana exits from the pitch for the final time of this tournament. That was a head-to-head clash. Noura Diarra almost surprised that... Oh, it's met by Ouedraogo. Claims for handball. Ball goes out for a corner kick, but the video assistant referee will check. Referee Aline Marie-Noël Gimbon Gaetong being swarmed by ASEC Mimosa players. Let's look at the replay here to have a clear angle. It hits off the knee and then the hand of Zineb Redouani. According to the rules, seems as if when a player is in a defensive register, if the ball hits off one part of their body and then their arm, we've seen these calls not go in favor of the attacking team. And unsurprisingly, it's consistent refereeing from Aline Marie-Noël Gimbon Gaetong. giving instructions to Redouani not to use her hands to push. So here comes the outswinging corner. It's low. It's not met by ASFAR players, and rolls out of bounds for a goal kick without any danger. But that positive spell of play only existed thanks to a few lapses of concentration of ASFAR, so they too may be dealing with fatigue. It's not a perfect second half for the Moroccan club just yet. And Madani searching for Lamari. She does well to play into that little window that had opened up for Banouk, but in the end, it's intercepted. ASEC recover. Les Actionnaires starting the second half with more promising approach play than in the first. They're starting to show some variation as well. Oh, it's a beautiful pass. Oh, it's going to find the back of the net. Ami Priscatiano, the equalizer. A pinpoint cross from the substitute, and it's a stroke of genius by Siaka Traoré. The introduction of Brou, unsettling Redouani, perhaps too concerned with her offensive duties, and then forgotten at the penalty spot. Naive defending from the center backs. And as I said just earlier, perhaps fatigue was starting to weigh on ASFAR. Concentration diminishing. And ASEC Mimosas continue with their trend of being a second half threat. It's 1-1. Khadija Ermichi concedes her first goal of the tournament. Ami Presca Diallo gets her third, and what a moment it is for Ami Presca Diallo. The 25-year-old gets her third goal of the tournament. And it's all yet to play for in Ismaila. With Raugo chasing. Doesn't get to it, but unsettling the defensive structure, which seemed so unperturbed. And it just seemed for the last few minutes, ASFAR were starting to release a little bit. Not look so threatening going forward, and also almost on the back foot in possession. ASEC Mimosas continuing on, emphasizing their reputation. The tournament debutantes are one goal away from taking the lead, but also have to be careful as they have a strong side in ASFAR, but ASFAR looked as if they are a completely different side than in the first half. We're not seeing the same assurance in Mohamed Amin Alioua team. ASEC Mimosas, the Abidjan-based club, their strength is their collective. They play for each other. And although they did go down 1-0, their belief is so high. Oh, it's beautiful one-touch football of the highest order, and cleared with all urgency by Redouani, who followed well. Erenmichi's clearance, it's in a difficult position, and it goes out of bounds. ASFAR looking like a completely different side since the last 10 minutes. Even before conceding the goal, they seemed on shaky legs. And it's free kick now in favor of the Moroccan champions, who have now weathered a storm and really have to work to resettle themselves, regroup, and find the elements that led for them to be in the lead in the first place. Mohamed Amin Aliwa has seen enough and will opt for fresh legs. Perhaps the appropriate decision. Sofia Bouftini and Yolande Niami, a double substitution. Zineb Beroudani comes off, and Dua Al-Modani. Al-Modani can regret a lot in this match. Although she was instrumental in that first half performance, she really should have been on the goal scoring sheet this evening. We'll see the influence of Sofia Bouftini, who has made her return to ASFAR. She made her return after spending last season at Wydad Casablanca, where she played 26 matches, scored 10 goals in all competitions. They'll benefit greatly. The team associated with the Army with her goal scoring, as well as Yolande Niami, who signed from Ittihad Tanger. Full of energy, Yolande Niami, and also one of her strengths is that she's very hard to dispossess and pickpocket off the ball. Whether it's back to goal or charging forward. So that championship pedigree that we saw in ASFAR, that luster of not having conceded one goal this whole tournament has faded oh so gently in the second half. ASEC Mimosas doing brilliantly to capitalize on their strong suit, and perhaps that spell where ASFAR were just a little bit less focused, less in control of the motions. Started with a cheap free kick given away, and then Hadijer Michi fumbled the free kick. Oh, but now they were gifted an opportunity. Banouk, she maintains possession, does well to do so. Niami, clever dribbling, and then it's a foul, but advantage played on Banouk. The cross into the area. It's all hands on deck for ASEC Mimosas. But ASFAR continuing to circulate brilliantly. Finally, with an ASEC Mimosas player still on the floor, play will be stopped by referee Aline Marie-Noël Gimbang-Gaetong. That's Mariam Diawara. She was late in her challenge. Surely would have been a foul in favor of ASFAR. It was the captain Najat Badri who got ahead of Mariam Diawara, but seems as if it was the number 14 for ASEC Mimosas who felt the brunt of the challenge. As the camera shifts on the Ola ball, the official match ball and tournament designed by Puma for this tournament, featuring vibrant colors. Very beautiful design. Ouedraogo did well to keep on to possession, but not exactly dispatching her teammate in the best position. Lamarie's pass almost looking to slice open ASEC Mimosas down the middle, but they had the wherewithal to stop the attack from developing. It's another risky pass, and Anastasie Bei gets to it first. ASEC Mimosas have found themselves back in this match, but they're releasing possession more and more, and it seems as if they're almost giving themselves a little bit of time to regroup as well. Benzina's clearance given away for a throw-in. in no rush to take the throw in now that the score is at 1-1. But we're seeing a much more hungry ASEC Mimosas who have awoken in the second half, winning their duels. Oh, and they're unable to clear with Raugo. Oh, she was gifted a chance. She had space, wasn't under much pressure. Abibou with Raugo. And the top goal scorer in the 2024-2025 season in Côte d'Ivoire with 39 goals. Skies her effort. Of course, it wasn't a simple task to hit the target from that angle and that body positioning, but a player of her caliber that we've seen do so well in this tournament, as well as the past couple of years for ASEC Mimosas, you'd expect to do better. ASEC Mimosas now on the back foot, as far injecting intensity in their pressing. Sophie Brou, she won't win a throw-in. Instead, it's going to be to the Moroccan champions and previous winners of the Women's Champions League. Oh, Nunoué, careful inside of the box. Two players for Aisfar down. It's Banouk. Seems that she may have gotten to the ball first. If anything, Nunoué, so confident in her clearance, and the first time scuffed it completely. And then it's Bei. Oh, it seems as if it's a little far-fetched for a penalty to be blown, but the captain, Erika Rosalie Nunoué, put her side in hot water there. Bei had the vigilance to react. But again, we're seeing challenges of that you usually see in a final. Of course, a final is played between the sides that were the best of the tournament, but had to go through fires to get here. Both sides face off and had to unleash so much energy in the last 2 weeks. It's their 5th match here played in Egypt. ASEC Mimosas really didn't look to their bench too often. Stayed with the same group of 13, 14 players at most by Siaka Gigi Traoré. Aisfar were able to turn over a little bit more, and Mohamed Amin Alioua giving chances to several different players. Of course, they're not helped by the absence of Sanam Soudi, who had to come off injured at the 121st minute against Le Tout-Puissant Mazembe in the semi-final. She arguably was the most stirring offensive player of this side, and a bit of a heartbreak to not have her for the final, but Aisfar still very much in it, and they have a free kick now. The goal scorer, oh, it's beautifully done! And then let go by Safa Banouk. Nina Yadi Dabigou perturbed. She's even won a free kick. Aitelaj close to perhaps grabbing her 2nd goal of the match, but Banouk never seemed certain there, with almost caught between two worlds. Does she deflect it with her heel, or does she let it go through? In the end, she let it run through her legs, and the referee Gimbong Aitong giving a very stern talking to Banouk. Pressing the clearance. Pascal Diallo wins her duel. And Abibou Redraogo sent in behind the back of the defense. They're doing well to recover. Aisfar, brilliant job recovering, but look how many players committed to the defensive effort. A true testament to the setup by Mohamed Amin Alioua. That urgency to recover the ball. And this is more like what we saw of Aisfar in the first half. Then they take their time to circulate and then pick the right pass. This time spotted by Noura Diarra. And Noura Diarra's defensive play enough to almost confuse ISFAR, who've turned it away and given a throw-in to les actionnaires. Here's Traoré. Oh no, excuse me, Abou Ayapo, who's recovered well since conceding the penalty in the first half. Her challenge at the 11th minute. Bouftini, reckless attacking from Sofia Bouftini. Presca Diallo tries to combine with Messi Matilda Dagba, but doesn't function so well. Since making their double substitution, ISFAR are looking a lot more secure in the midfield as well as in the defense. That's another silly foul by Noelia Benzina. Player with her experience shouldn't be conceding those types of fouls. Of course, it's also a testament to how good Amima Presca Diallo is with her back to goal. The Ivorian international. It's Najat Badri, the captain of ISFAR, who's disputing the decision, but her efforts are futile. So ASEC Mimosa, debutantes and Côte d'Ivoire's second ever represented. That would have had to be very special to find the back of the net, but Anastasie Gbei said, why not? Let me have a shot. It is the final. Benzina, Badri. Lamari was impeded illegally, and Kimbanga Itong, the referee, spotted it. A slicing long ball from Benzina right into the heart of the defense of ASEC Mimosa, inviting them to have to defend well, but Benzina taking no risks now. We're seeing a very different face to ISFAR than we have. They're not looking as composed as usual. They've also conceded for the first time in this tournament, so unfamiliar sensations for the Moroccan champions, and with 20 minutes left to be played, more or less, in this second half. It's les actionnaires who are looking like the more dangerous side with Raugo's header. Bounces out without any threat to the goal of Hadijer Michi. Said Hajar did well to recover and go to duel with Raugo. It's interesting, as ISFAR are a side that have dominated domestically since 2012. It's as if winning the league and the Throne Cup is not enough for them anymore. They need to win more trophies, with more prestige. And it was very clear from the very start of this tournament, Mohamed Aminou Alioua said that our intention is to win every single match, whoever's in front of us. They only drew against FC Massar 0-0 by missing a penalty, and of course Sanam Soudi unable to convert a handful of clear chances. But now against ASEC Mimosa, it's a different context, different situation, but since Sofia Bouftini and Yoron Yami have come on, it's been a much more balanced fixture. Touré completely chopping at the ankle Vanessa Lamari, even removing her shin guard from her sock. And that's the first yellow card of the match, and it's a deserved one for Yeti Doudou Touré, one of the other Côte d'Ivoire internationals on this side. Oh, well anticipated by Ami Presca Diallo, and in the end, Badri does lose possession, but she's helped by her teammates who are pressing high. And in the end, ASFAR have earned a throw in more or less deep in enemy territory. Badri has a chance to redeem herself from that earlier loss. Niami tried to work her defender by spitting at the last moment. Ouedraogo seems as if she's positioned herself a little bit deeper to try to collect the ball closer to her own goal. Last minute tackle from Anana Itelaj, and it's a free kick in favor for Les Actionnaires. And a yellow card for the goal scorer, who from the look on her face doesn't seem to believe the decision of the referee, Yimbanga Etong. She does make contact with the ball, that is for certain. But the interpretation of the referee was to blow the whistle and give a free kick in favor of ASEC. So ASEC Mimosa having to defend another set piece. It's Ouedraogo, seems she's going for goal. Hits the roof of the net. But on the overside, not the underside of the bar. Seems as if it was dipping at the right time, at the last moment, but just a little bit too much weight. Eren Michi was following the trajectory closely. Had her glove just in case to avoid any surprises. Which is a good sign of reassurance for your defenders when you see your goalkeeper, even though the ball goes out of bounds, your goalkeeper is attentive and follows the ball with assurance. Here's Redouani with an eye towards her bench. She really gives it her all. One of the few moments where she was perhaps caught napping a little bit. So when Sophie Philomène Brou got the best of her and sent in a delicious and inviting cross, which was finished by Ami Presca Diallo with a header. And Yoron Niami does what she does and wins a corner kick for ASFAR. It's an interesting challenge for ASFAR to be all square at the 77th minute. Can they exploit a dead ball situation? They're so good from these. It's a corner. It's above it. Dabilgou had to be alert on her line. It seems as if Anissa Lalamarie had cooked up a very special corner. Oh, that's a nasty effect on the ball. It seems as if it was curling in and out. Well, out and in, more like it. And that would have been an unforgettable goal. But Dabilgou clinging on into the air and making a huge save. It's another good corner kick, but gets away from Badrien. Brou gets on her wheels. Brou gets away from a couple players. In the end, it's Badri who tries to intervene. Brou brought down finally, but it took 4 ASFAR players to stop the number 20, Sophie Philomène Brou. Always had her eye on the ball. Both sides giving it their all, but it's unclear who will prevail. ASFAR waking up with these set-piece situations. That was definitely a shot on target from Anissa Lamari. Beautiful delivery. Abibou Ouedraogo also attempting from the free kick, but if there is one area of play where ASFAR are superior to perhaps any other team on the continent, it really is from these set-piece situations. And we're seeing the captain come off, Najat Badri. Third substitution of the match. And Siam Boukami to come on, a defender. So intentions clearly stated by ASFAR. There to not exactly park the bus, but reinforce the defense. Ouedraogo's touches more than enough to escape the incoming press. Brou going to battle. Sofia Bouftini coming to assist in her defensive duties. Redouani shoulder to shoulder, no foul. Still none. Oh, it's riveting football in this final. And with just over 10 minutes left to be played, it's anyone's game for the taking. Of course, so much at stake for the victor. Oh, the deflected pass, it does well for Ami Presque Diallo, who with her heel stops the momentum of the play. Ouedraogo is going to go for goal, perhaps. She does. Safely captured into the gloves of Hadija Michi, who shares a few words with her defenders. They're making an important save. She made that one look easy. But ASEC Mimosas, true to their habits, have upped their game in the second half. Yonan Yami, perhaps second best in this foot race, and then using her arms to bring Mariam Diawara down. Can we find a winner? Can ASEC Mimosas conjure creative play? It seems like Ouedraogo is in an offside position. Flag goes up rather quickly. If anything, it's almost more impressive that ASEC Mimosas have been able to come back in this game without a goal contribution from their number 7, Abibou Ouedraogo. She's been involved in almost all the goals scored leading up to this match. Niami, Bafou, Banouk, still Banouk. Redouani, the heart of the play. Dispatch in a difficult position to the substitute Boukami. Long cross. Oh, it's not well dealt with. Perhaps this is the moment. Redouani brought down. Is there a penalty? There is a penalty. Clumsy defending by ASEC Mimosas. And the championship pedigree of ASFAR showcasing itself. And it's Mohamed Aminou Alioua's substitutes all involved. Boukami, Niami, Bouftini, all three played a role in this goal. It's Bouftini. Oh, and that's dangerous defending from Noura Diarra. Absolutely gets none of the ball and gets too much of Bouftini. And that shifts the entire momentum, the entire storyline of this match. ASEC Mimosas seem to be growing into it. But in the end, it's Mohamed Amin Alioua's substitutions that have worked so hard for this team to get back into the match. It's brilliant from Mohamed Amin Alioua. And Bouftini has earned a penalty kick in the final minutes of this match. It's being overlooked by video assistant referee. And it's Anana Italaj who seems the most eager to take the penalty kick, wearing the captain's armband as Najat Badri exited the pitch. For Siam Boukami. Oh no, she's going to hand it to Zineb Redouani, excuse me. So it's the number 2, Zineb Redouani. The 25-year-old defender who's indefatigable performances all throughout this tournament have not gone unnoticed. She created the most amount of chances going into this tournament. She scored the opening penalty versus Le Tout-Puissant Mazembe. And now, perhaps with one of the most important penalty kicks of her club career, although she has so much experience, Zineb Redouani can deliver the goods. It's Zineb Redouani against Nina Yadi Dabilgou. Up she steps up. She finds the back of the net. And ASFAR are up 2-1 against ASEC Mimosas with less than 7 minutes to play for. Scenes here in Ismaila at the Suez Canal Stadium. And it's the reliable, the experienced, the tenacious fullback Zineb Redouani with a low-driven shot, the same side as Anana Italaj, who finds the back of the net. Oh, you could see with her eyes, she knew exactly where she was going. Didn't disguise it whatsoever, but nothing Dabilgou can do when you associate power and precision again like that. And penalties have really been the story for ASFAR this tournament. They got here through penalty shootouts, and they may lift the Women's Champions League trophy through 2 penalties. But credit has to be given to Mohamed Amin Alioua. His changes, his tactical adjustments made such a difference. And ASEC Mimosas, after scoring the equalizer, just didn't have the offensive response needed to continue unsettling ASFAR. But it's been a brilliant showing from ASEC Mimosas nonetheless for their first ever Women's Champions League participation. They played so well, even in this match. They scored a goal. Oh, tensions are flaring, however. Boukami involved in there. And she'll pick up a yellow card for unsportsmanlike conduct. She was going to battle with the captain, Erika Rosalie Nunoué. However, it is cruel for ASEC Mimosas. 2 completely avoidable and clumsy defensive mistakes by their players, but you can imagine it's what ASFAR had imagined. They're a team that have so much championship experience. They have that mindset, that mentality of knowing how to exploit the little weaknesses and also deploy their strength at the right times. Niami, it's almost she has glue. It's almost as if she has glue at her feet. Yolande Niami. Once in possession, so difficult to be dispossessed. And we're going to see the 4th substitution of the match for Alioua's players. It's Aziza Rabat to come on for Safa Banouk. So 6 defensive-minded players on the pitch, and Banouk exits with a smile on her face as the supporters of ASFAR in the stadium are upping the noise levels. Surely the celebrations will be grandiose if ASFAR hold to their victory here and in Rabat, capital city. What a moment as the men's team of ASFAR will be playing in the Champions League tomorrow against Young Africans. They'll be shown an example of success in this women's side, who are just minutes away from going all the way and defeating a formidable side in ASEC Mimosas. The clock is ticking towards the end of regulation time, and Yoran Yami, who charging towards the goal, is brought down. Took a lot, but in the end, ASEC Mimosas extinguished. So many players behind the ball. Sophie Philomène-Brou, although she can get away from two players, there's just another line of defense waiting for her. Look at the defensive structure put in place by ASFAR. 5 defenders, 2 holding midfielders. It's going to take something very special and creative from ASEC Mimosas to get the second. Well, we saw a little bit of it there with Abibou Ouedraogo. Worked very hard to win a corner kick. Could this be the last chance for les Actionnaires to draw level? Will they be able to thwart this iron defense of ASFAR? Clock is ticking, just 10 seconds away from the 90th minute. This would be the most dramatic of equalizers. ASEC Mimosas still with possession after the corner comes in. Brou's low cross with Ouedraogo! Oh, and she scuffs it! Of all players, no, excuse me, it was Beyi. Anastasie Beyi. She drags the shot wide. Scenes here in Ismaila. And maybe it is destiny for ASFAR to lift the trophy after losing at home last year to Le Tout-Puissant Mazembe and etch their names into African women's football history. It's not over yet, but there isn't that much time to be played. 5 minutes given of stoppage time, and we've already gone through 50 seconds. Sophie Brou's impact can't be understated. She's been difficult to contain on that right wing. This time she's brought down and has earned a free kick, but ASEC Mimosas are going to play it long. No disguising that. Anastasie Beyi launches it in towards the box. Diarra chases, but it's not coordinated. And that's perhaps where the difference lied. The quality of the set pieces. The true difference maker. Both goalkeepers were outstanding in this match as well. Nina Yadi Dabilgou will feel hard done by, conceding 2 goals from penalties, but both were taken with such assurance by Anana Delaj and Zineb Redouani, perhaps some of the best penalty takers in all of Africa. With Ouedraogo looking for solutions, she has to play back to Noura Diarra, who's going to shift the play to the right. Aboua Yapo doesn't seem interested in carrying the ball forward. Beyi takes her responsibilities and sends in another searching ball. With Ouedraogo, she's pickpocketed. ASEC Mimosas struggling to find a player facing the goal. Oh, the defining touch by Yapo. Almost rush shot, but they don't have too many minutes left to be played, understandably, but perhaps that shot from Dagba arrived a little bit prematurely. And an ASFAR player requesting medical help. Sion Yami, or excuse me, the substitute, who also played a key role in getting that second goal. Her impact was absolutely massive. Just as ASEC Mimosas were looking to take over, she stretchered off. So ASFAR may finish this match with 10 players on the pitch, unless Mohamed Amin Alioua makes a quick substitution. And unless we see, unless we see an equalizer, this will be a final the final minute of seeing the custom Ola ball for this African Women's Champions League tournament, designed by Puma. And they are just a minute away, ASFAR, from collecting their second Women's Champions League title, drawing level with Mamelodi Sundowns and redeeming that heartbreaking defeat last year at home. They have to hold their nerve. ASEC Mimosas staying true to their structure, not overcommitting players forward, but perhaps now is the time to do so. They have to take more risks, ASEC Mimosas, if they are to break through this defense, even if it means conceding. But oh, they've given the ball away. Bouftini not safe in possession, and that's a cynical foul from Bouftini. She'll collect a yellow card, but she won't mind as long as ASFAR remain champions. Completely cut the momentum from the attack. Grabbing Sophie Broux's jersey, almost wanting to keep it. Bouftini too, winning the penalty. Her introduction into the match is so determinant. Behi's cross, it's into a dangerous area. It's not cleared yet. Oh, it's pinballing around. ASEC Mimosas had the final chance, but it's ASFAR who will be celebrating tonight and for the year to come. The Women's Champions League returns to Morocco, more precisely Rabat, for the second time in its history. Last year's finalists right their wrongs, and it's joy for l'Association Sportive des Forces des Armées Royales. ASEC Mimosas gave everything they had. They even drew level, scoring against the best defense of the Women's Champions League, but it was not enough. 2 mistakes in their own box, leading to penalties given, and it will be tears of sadness for that Abidjan-based club, but they can exit with their heads held high. However, Anastatic Behi will collect a red card. Unhappy, perhaps, to not have more time added. And it's a cruel end for ASEC Mimosas, who finished top of their group, defeated Le Tout-Puissant Mazembe, defeated the hosts, and fell short to a just much more experienced, a much more perhaps strategically prepared side in ASFAR, who scored the most important amount of goals. Didn't have the best offense, but by far the best defense. And 2 penalties the difference. They just had that clinical edge that pushed them through. ASEC Mimosas perhaps can regret not taking their chances in the second half. Perhaps also can regret their performance in the first half, where they were really the second best team by all means. They woke up in the second half and really gave ASFAR a run for the title. And at some points, and at one point, it seemed as if they were the superior side, but Mohamed Amin Aliooua's substitutions made a true difference. Boukami, Bouftini, Yoran Yami. And perhaps that's also the strength of ASFAR. They have such depth and talent and quality. And it's celebration time. Here in Ismaila, Egypt. It seems as if it's led by the number 8, Eroudani. heartbreak for ASEC Mimosas, but it's elation for ASR. Their performances all throughout the tournament exhibited solidity, exhibited championship pedigree, and they weathered every storm possible. They bested the best of Africa, and they have earned the right to celebrate here in Ismaila, as well as all throughout the night, as well as with their supporters when they get home to Rabat. And Moroccan football also being amply represented. Country that will host the upcoming Men's Africa Cup of Nations tournament this December. The youth sides of Morocco did so well. Of course, can't forget that this summer the Women's Africa Cup of Nations tournament ended in heartbreak for Morocco as well. They lost to Nigeria after being up 2-0. So you see Nouela Benzina, who collected so many knocks, still played through all the pain, all the injuries, Nouela Benzina, and she enters the history books even more. Fatima Tagnaout, who couldn't take part in this tournament, the number 11. She's being celebrated by her teammates, while ASEC Mimosas look on. And it's deserved. Mohamed Amin Aloua's team worked so hard to get to this tournament. They got through a very difficult UNAF qualifiers group in the 2024-2025 season in Morocco. They finished 10 points above RS Berkane with 0 defeats. This is a dynasty that is being built by Mohamed Amin Aloua. But ASEC Mimosas, if they're able to hold on to these principles of play, they'll be back. As a Woman of the Match award is presented to the much deserving Zineb Redouani, but she won't be collecting it alone. Crowded by her teammates. The goal scorer of the decisive second penalty. And here comes the interview.
Okay. Alors, Zineb, tout d'abord, félicitations pour ce trophée de la femme du match, pour une finale, une nouvelle victoire de l'ASFAR. Qu'est-ce qui vous anime aujourd'hui? Quel est votre sentiment?
حقيقة ما نقدرش نوصف الشعور ديالي في هذه الساعة هذه. ندي أحسن لاعبة في المباراة ونربحوا الفينال. هذا الشيء راه كان جزء من الأهداف ديال هذه البطولة هذه، هي ناخذ هذا التروفي هذا، ولكن الهدف الكبير ديالي وديال المجموعة كاملة هو لاكوب. وكنبغي نقول للبنات شكرا على الروح القتالية، حيت ما كانوش ما كناش ناخذ هذه وما كناش ناخذوا لاكوب. ديما عسكر، وعسكر ديما تبقى تدافع على الألقاب، وديما ليفار وديما مغرب.
Comment est-ce que vous allez célébrer ce soir? Bravo.
Well, you could feel the emotion, the joy of Zineb Redouani. She put in so much work throughout this tournament, created so many chances for her teammates, and so generous with her efforts. But in the end, it was her teammates that trusted her to take the winning penalty, which says a lot about the role she has in this side. the best club in Africa is AS FAR. And the woman of the match of the final, Zineb Redouani. As the pedestal is being prepared for the award ceremony. As a reminder, there will not only be the trophy lift, there will also be individual awards that will be given to the star performers throughout this tournament. The best goalkeeper, the team that displayed the best fair play, the top goal scorer award, as well as the overall player of the tournament, followed by the silver medals, which will be given to ASEC Mimosas, and the gold, as well as the trophy for AS FAR of Rabat, Morocco. So the red carpet is rolled out. You see the officials that participated throughout the tournament. FC Massar also present. And they are not going to stop celebrating. They have added to their massive trophy collection. And this is not another simple trophy. This is what they were looking for. Since 2012, they've consistently been dominant in domestic football, winning the league and Throne Cup. And now they are a side that are undoubtedly getting closer and closer to becoming the most decorated team on the continent. Of course, Mamelodi Sundowns has also won 2 Women's Champions Leagues, but AS FAR do not look like they're close to stopping. Truly is a sense of pride in how many trophies they have won. As we see FC Massar's Moroccan manager coming to congratulate countrywomen. FC Massar, who earlier this afternoon lost by 3-1 to the tout-puissant Mazembe in the consolation final. But they too had quite a memorable tournament. FC Massar, such a young team, led by a very young coach. Excuse me, I made a little bit of a confusing mistake. It's Lamia Boumedi, who's head coach of tout-puissant Mazembe, who won the 3rd place in consolation match. These are moments that will be etched into their minds. As for ASEC Mimosas, there was a lot of positives to take away from their performance. Even tonight, for a tournament debutante, they stunned the African continent in their opening match, defeated le tout-puissant Mazembe, and it's Abibou Ouedraogo, who seems almost inconsolable at this point, but there's Lamia Boumedi, the manager of le tout-puissant Mazembe. Her side will collect their bronze medals. Having defeated AS FAR in last year's final. And the road is long until next year's edition of the tournament. AS FAR, however, have earned closer challenges. By winning, they've qualified for the inaugural FIFA Women's Champions Cup. playing against the winner of the AFC Women's Champions League 1, Jangda.
We will now begin the medals and trophies.
And if they are to get through the Asian Women's Champions League winners,
please welcome Dr.
they will be qualified to play against Arsenal FC, the winners of the UEFA Women's Champions League. As the officials of the CAF walk out to present the trophies and medals, it is nearly time for ASFAR to celebrate with the trophy firmly in their hands. No more matches to be played, no more denying them. It started as a tournament with 8 teams on November the 8th, concludes on November the 21st with one defining champion.
We will now begin with the individual awards.
See Sudi being carried around.
The fair play team trophy is awarded to وتمنح جائزة اللعب النظيف إلى FC Masar.
And it's the host nation representative club, FC Masar, that collects the Fair Play Award. Here to collect is the captain of FC Masar, Amira Mohammed.
The best goalkeeper trophy is awarded to أفضل حارسة مرمى اللاعبة خديجة إرميشي من أسفار.
Unsurprisingly, the best goalkeeper award goes to Haja Eredmichi. She already won the trophy in 2022. She collects it again, and wonder where she'll make space for this one. She has too many trophies, you'd almost say, but champions of her pedigree would say there's no such thing as too many individual trophies or team trophies. And she gets the Golden Glove.
The top scorer trophy is awarded to هدافة البطولة هي اللاعبة مارلينيا من تيبي مازيمبي.
The top goal scorer, the tournament award, goes to Marlène Kassayev of tout-puissant Mazembe. She secures the golden boot, the top goal scorer. And now, the best player of the tournament award goes to Habibou Ouedraogo, who surely won't be smiling from ear to ear collecting this trophy, but it's much deserved. Habibou Ouedraogo's performances throughout the tournament were of the highest order. She lifted her team when they needed it. Always played with her full heart. It's bittersweet for Habibou Ouedraogo, but recognized for her fine performances, and she too enters history, representing ASEC Mimosas in their first ever participation in the Women's Champions League. And for now, tonight, it won't offer too much consolation, or if any consolation at all, but she can be proud of her performances, just as the whole side of ASEC Mimosas. Now for the officials to receive their medals.
so proud. That's such beautiful, beautiful.
So all the officials receiving their medals for their fine performances as well. Not a very simple task to officiate. Of course, there's always a side that may not be happy with their decisions, as we saw today. Two key moments that defined the match were penalties granted to Asfar. Of course, those were simple decisions to make, but the correct ones. And Aline Marie-Noël Guimban-Gaëtong and her team rightfully rewarded for their exceptional officiating. The head referee from Cameroon, as well as her assistants. Time for the tout-puissant Mazembe, who won the consolation match played earlier this afternoon against FC Massar. They'll collect their bronze medals. Not exactly what some players like to wear around their necks when they participate, with the will to win. And but le tout-puissant Mazembe, last year champions, this year falling at the semi-finals to Asfar, who would eventually go on to win the competition. It's a very fine margins. Asfar defeating le tout-puissant Mazembe in a penalty shootout. Penalties really were the deciding factor for Asfar all throughout the tournament. Scored 2 goals from penalties in the group stages. Won their semi-final in the shootout and scored 2 penalties in this final. And le tout-puissant Mazembe, who played exceptionally well in the semi-final. Marlène Kassayav scoring a beautiful looping header, the third of the match, to cement her status as the top scorer. There she is at the end of the line, the captain, followed closely by Lamia Boumedi, the architect of this tout-puissant Mazembe squad. Questions will be if she returns for another year. If so, you can expect to see le tout-puissant Mazembe contest for this title next year at the Women's Champions League. And they'll return to the Democratic Republic of Congo, having performed less well than last year, but nonetheless, medalists. Time for ASEC Mimosas to collect their medals. Silver color. Of course, in a final, it's cruel. There's only one team that can win. And for all their efforts, ASEC Mimosas did fall short. Mathilde Adagba, who scored that wonderful goal in the semi-final. Ami Presque Diallo, who drew level in this final. And Guesson, who played a pivotal role in the club achieving this phase. Didn't feature in this 16th and ultimate match of the Women's Champions League, but was so decisive. Nina Yadi Dabilgou, her save against FC Massar, one to frame. Player of the tournament, Ouedraogo. Noura Diarra, one of the best defenders in the group stages, but committing that foul, which proved to be so costly. And then the manager, Siaka Gigi Traoré, in his first ever job at the helm of a women's club. He did well, but Mohamed Amin Alioua, he's written the wrongs. That memory which hurt him so much of losing that final last year, he can erase it. Well, he perhaps can't permanently erase it, but he's done well to reverse in winning and offering gold medals to his team. It's his substitutions that really shook the match. His tactical system as well, which was so fluid. Had his fullbacks playing in offensive positions. Of course, it's no coincidence that both goals scored today were by defenders. Both fullbacks, who also were not only from penalties, but so decisive in the gameplay. Doal Madani, last year's top goal scorer and winner of the Young Player of the Year at the CAF Awards. Saïd Hadjar, arriving in Africa from Girondins Bordeaux. Bouftini, who won the penalty. Boukami, whose cross earned the winning chance. Tegnaout, who didn't feature in this tournament, but is such a key figure in the locker room. They almost are too keen. Anissa Lamari, who arrived from Europe. He played for Paris Saint-Germain, Reading, Paris FC. Paul Mauna, who left it all on the line, cutting out all the plays when possible. And the last medal to be given to the captain, it's Najat Badri. She didn't finish the match, but she will be the last to collect her gold medal and the first to lift the trophy with her teammates of the Women's Champions League. The podium is set up, the pyrotechnics as well, and we are seconds away from seeing an eruption of joy here in Ismaila. The trophy is to be delicately presented into the hands of Najat Badri. And it is official, signed and sealed. ASFAR are your champions of the CAF Women's Champions League in Egypt 2025. Through trials and tribulations, they defeated the best of the best and emerged on top. ASFAR from Rabat, Morocco, prevail. Congratulations to l'Association Sportive des Forces Armées Royales. They have added another trophy, and for the second time, they are champions of Africa. Fair play to all participants in this Women's Champions League, especially ASEC Mimosas, who put on a strong revolt, especially in the second half. But ASFAR, too experienced, too composed. And celebrating united, just as they played on the pitch. Thank you to Egypt for hosting what's been such a memorable tournament. Exceptional matches, exceptional performances, standout moments. ASFAR, our historical team. And the question is who is going to stop them now? They blended experience with novelty. Some very talented young players up and coming in Saïd Hadjar, Doal Madani, and they're learning from the best in the business in Hadija Elmichi, Hananai Delaj. These are all pillars in women's football, and it's very promising for the future and the present. Of course, all without Sana Msoudi, who missed out on this final due to injury, but they did it. Without their offensive element, number one, Safa Banouk, what a tournament she had. 2 goals in this Women's Champions League edition. Emerged from the substitution bench and then established herself as a starter. Eremici, only conceding 1 goal through the entirety of this tournament. She was a wall yet again, and at 38 years of age, doesn't seem as if time is stopping her. Now it's time for all the players to take their photos with the trophy alongside the confetti covered pitch. And this is just the beginning of what's to be a very special evening for ASFAR. The celebrations will go well into the night, you can imagine. And once they return to Morocco with their loved ones, with their supporters, this is a moment to savor, which doesn't come easily at all. Just 2 weeks ago, it was up for anyone to win, and they managed to rise above the top, finish on top of Group A, face their demons, of course, you could say, in terms of TP Mazembe, who snatched the trophy from their hands, which they would at home last year. And then against a valiant and formidable ASEC Mimosas side who are competing in the Champions League for the first time. They did something that no other side had done either. They put 2 goals past ASEC Mimosas, who are very disciplined defensively and offensively, and they made them unsettled, picked up 2 penalties, converted them,